Welcome to the Seth Thibodeaux Show, featuring the head coach of the Nicholls State University baseball team, Seth Thibodeaux. Today's program is presented by State Farm. Contact your local State Farm agent today and get to a better state. The Seth Thibodeaux Show is also sponsored by Rouse's Supermarkets. Rouse's, you're either local or you're not. Good afternoon and welcome to the Seth Thibodeaux Show presented by State Farm Insurance. I'm your host, Mike Wagenheim. We're joined here by the head coach of the Colonel baseball program, Seth Thibodeaux. Welcome, my friend.
Wax, thanks for having me.
Heading into the final weekend of the regular season here, taking on Lamar on the road tonight, tomorrow, and Saturday. And you're one game behind McNeese for the final Southland Conference postseason spot. Now, we talked about a month and a half ago when you were 2-10 in conference. You told me then it's going to come down to the final weekend of the regular season, and here we are.
Here we are, and we have an opportunity to get something done here, and I'm excited about that. We are ready for the challenge, and it's going to be a challenge. But this is the postseason. We're in the postseason right now as we speak, and every game is precious. And all we can do is control control the controllables in game one.
Now, McNeese will host Southeastern Louisiana over the course of the next 3 days as well. You've got to be one game better than the Cowboys over this final weekend to qualify for the Southland Tournament. But like you said, it's all about you guys, right?
Sure. We need to take care of game one. If we look too far ahead to game three and something that can happen on Saturday, then we're going to drown ourselves with thoughts that are going to clutter our minds. So we don't need to worry about that. We need to try to win game one, the first inning of this series of game one against Lamar.
Well, let's take a look at the last week of action. Nicholls went into last weekend trailing McNeese State by a game for that eighth and final berth in the Southland Tournament. The Colonels would host Northwestern State, who went through a coaching change in the offseason. They're going through a rebuilding process right now. The Thibodeaux area suffered through a deluge on Thursday night and all day Friday, leaving Ray E. Didier Field submerged. So the coaching staff had to get these games in. They worked feverishly and were able to secure Signet Field in Westwego on the west bank of New Orleans, about an hour away, for a Saturday night doubleheader. Meanwhile, McNeese won their series opener at Oral Roberts on Friday and fell to the Golden Eagles on Saturday, leaving Nicholls again a game behind the Cowboys. Corey DeLang would take the ball on Saturday night, and we would see a whole lot of him over the next couple of hours. He gives up a hit to Will Watson in the first, then Todd Wallace connects with a two-out single. Watson waved in from second base. Matt Richard comes up firing a perfect one-hop throw. Watson is nailed. However, Matt Burns registered a sac fly in the second to put the Demons up a run. Bottom two, bases loaded, no outs. David Zorn with a base hit off of Robert Baker. Phillip Lyons and Mike Barba score. Part of a three-run frame. Baker was chased early just a week after tossing a four-hit shutout at Stephen F. Austin. Top of the fifth, Jake Kluwat out of the 9-hole belts a two-run home run, only his second extra base hit all year. This ball game is tied at 3. Now on the flip side, Matt Farmer comes out of the Demon pen and at one point retired 19 of 20 Colonels. He gets Mike Barba here to ground out in the 5th. Farmer is a backup catcher. He had pitched less than 4 innings all year. He goes 9 1/3 in this one. You wonder what he's been doing all season. Now on the flip side of that, Corey DeLang, just a bulldog. He fans Matt Burns here in the 10th. DeLang goes 11 innings, giving up 3 runs on 9 hits with a walk and 6 strikeouts, 122 pitches, 82 of them for strikes. NSU puts runners at the corners against Kelby Langston with 1 out in the 12th, but he escapes. The Kluwat grounder retires his side. So we go to the bottom of the 12th, still tied. After a 1-out walk for Zorn, Farmer here induces Matt Richard into a ground ball to second. They force out Zorn, but Richard goes all out to avoid the twin killing, and the inning continues. Following a Leo Vargas single, Keith Cormier makes his way to the plate. He's done this a few times this season. The game winner, Nicholls, takes the opener of the Twin Bill 4-3 in 12. It's the first extra inning victory for the Colonels in 5 tries this season. Coach, really a couple of storylines in this one. Matt Richard with that dive at first base to continue the 12th inning, and Corey DeLang, what a performance.
Corey DeLang, like you said earlier, was an absolute bulldog. And that's all you can ask of him. He was determined. 122 pitches in 11 innings is unheard of. And he deserved to get that W. He didn't quite get it, but he is the reason why we were successful. And then, of course, Matt Richard sells out. The guy wasn't able to practice all week due to a back injury, pulled hamstring, and a really I don't know what to call it yet, but a really beat up elbow that he's been suffering some pain with. And for him to sell himself out like that, and Leo Vargas comes up with a hit, then Cormier comes up with the game winner. It was special, and it was a hard-fought victory. Northwestern was playing with nothing to lose, and they played a great baseball game.
Now, you only have about 25 minutes to turn things around and get ready for Game 2. Did you have time to talk to your team?
We were able to talk a very short amount of time. We're hustling, trying to get things ready to go, and I wanted our guys to stay focused and understand the importance of getting this Game 1 and Game 2. And we knew we were going to face a pretty good lefty there. We needed to swing it a little bit, but we needed a really good start on the mound. It was important for us to pitch it again, and that's what we were looking to in hopes of making sure we were able to get a doubleheader sweep. Now, things didn't go as planned, and we ran into a pretty good arm, and we'll let you take it from here.
How about we go to Game 2 of this twilight doubleheader? Taylor Bird back in the weekend rotation after being pulled a few weeks ago, but he runs into early trouble, and that's been his M.O. Edwin Gomez leads off the game with a clinical bunt base hit, and then after a Will Watson ground out, Nick Purdy draws a walk here. So that would bring up Todd Wallace, and Wallace is hit with the breaking ball. That loads the bases with one out. So here comes Court Brinson to the dish, and Taylor winds up walking him. That forces in Gomez, and the Demons jump on the board. Nathan Lyons would be the next one up. A fly ball to center field, deep enough to score Purdy. Now, it looks like Wallace might get nailed at third here. The umpire looked a little indecisive on the call. He's ruled safe in the end. Fortunately, no further damage done. 2-0 Northwestern State. The Colonels looking to come back. Bottom 2. Phillip Lyons facing Cody Butler. The double in the left field corner. Tyler Duplantis had walked. He comes around all the way from first base. The deficit is cut in half. Lyons registered 3 hits in this ball game. But in the third, Brinson tees off here. The long ball puts NSU back up by 2. That was Brinson's 3rd homer of the season. He had 2 RBIs and scored twice in this affair. Now, Bird walks a pair in the 6th before Gomez singles to right, but Mike Barba comes up with a big play here. Lyons looking to score from second, and he is cut down. It remains a 3-1 affair. Bird went 6 innings, yielding 6 hits with 4 walks and 8 strikeouts. The Demons, however, put the game away in the 8th, scoring 4 in the frame. This 2-out knock by Purdy off of Grant Bourne plates Matt Burns and Gomez to 7-1 ball game. Now, the Colonels do make it interesting in the 9th. Matt Richard leads off with a home run. It was his 2nd of the season. That coming here. Nicholls would load the bases with 2 outs after that, but closer Cameron Brewer shuts the door. 7-2 the final. Butler went 8 2/3 for the victory, yielding 9 hits, 2 walks, and 6 punch-outs. Coach, if Taylor Bird can find a way to make it the first time through the order, he's going to be a heck of a pitcher next year.
He's got a chance. He's got some talent. There's no question about it. He's got a very good arm. He's got a chance to pitch at the next level at some point in his career. And, it's important for him to make that adjustment. And sometimes you get that from junior college transfers, that adjustment phase and that adjustment period. He wasn't able to pitch much in the fall with a knee injury. He was coming off of a surgery. So really and truly, he's just starting to get in the groove of things now, and he's learning right now. And it's important for us to be patient and teach him the best we can. But he was really good for 3 or 4 innings in the middle right there. And it was important for us to be a good offensive team that night. And we really of the game 2, and we really weren't as good as I expected us to be. But it's part of it. We got to bounce back and get it done in game 3.
Well, the coaching staff worked throughout Sunday morning and early afternoon to get Didier Field ready. Also, their seniors could have one final chance to play at home. Those 10 seniors were honored before the ball game. Pink jerseys for this one. We'll have more on that later on in the program. Now, Brandon Jackson gets the starting nod. His stock had been rising until Sam Houston got a hold of him last week. He was looking to bounce back, and did he ever? But he didn't do it alone. How about this for setting the tone? Edwin Gomez leads off the game with what looks like a gapper, but senior Matt Richard takes extra bases away. What a play. This game turned into the Matt Richard show. In the 4th, Jackson facing Todd Wallace. Richard racing in. Does it again. Jackson allowed a pair of hits in the 1st and no more until the 8th. Now the Demons go pitcher by committee. Andrew Adams works at 5th, and Mike Barba lays down a beautiful bunt, advancing Seth Stevens to second base with 1 out. And that brings to the plate, guess who? Matt Richard. And he rips one down the third baseline and into the corner. This scores Stevens. Barba follows. The scoreless tie is broken up. Nicholls leads this ball game by 2. Now that would take us all the way into the 8th inning. It's still a 2-0 ball game at that point. Tyler Duplantis at the bat, and he takes Cameron Brewer the other way. Keith Cormier scores from second, giving Nicholls a little bit of insurance here. It's a 3-0 contest. But Jackson he wouldn't need it in the end. He was only in trouble once all day. Nathan Lyons bounces out to end it here. Jackson with his second shutout in a month. This one is a 4-hitter, 3 walks, 2 hit batsmen, no strikeouts. He picked 2 runners off base. Cody Dufran caught a couple stealing as well. Nicholls wins 3-0. NSU drops to 15-37 overall. 4-20 in the Southland. The Colonels improved to 25-27 on the year, 8-16 in the league. McNeese, though, beat Oral Roberts on Sunday, so the Colonels still 1 game back of the Cowboys. Brandon Jackson, terrific, and he did it without a strikeout. And Cody Dufran, he didn't let anything by him all game.
Cody was really, really good. I was proud of him, and it rubbed off from that battery, the battery mate, so to speak. Brandon Jackson's tempo was amazing, and Cody Dufran caught a heck of a game. He was very good behind the plate. Tyler Duplantis was amazing at third base. He makes some big-time plays over there. Seth Stevens made some big digs at first base. Of course, Matt Reshore lays out and takes 2 doubles away from Northwestern. So it was a lot of fun, pitching and defense, man, and a couple of big hits. One by Matt Reshore, and Tyler Duplantis starts out 0-2 against one of their relievers right there and grinds his way back into a full count, fouls some pitches off, has a 12-pitch at bat, and wins it and gets us a big RBI to make it 3-0. Really put the nail in the coffin there. Overall team, great job.
Well, you look at what Matt Farmer did Saturday night, and you realize you don't need to strike a whole lot of people out in the South. And if you have confidence in the defense behind you and you throw strikes, good things are going to happen. And that's what happened to Brandon on Sunday.
That's the way he pitched, and he knew how to pitch at our park. He did a great job, but it was really good. The momentum of the game, if you played at a high level in a fast pace, and you keep your defense on their toes, so to speak, you're always going to have these guys moving and making plays. And the tempo of the game was amazing. We started at 3:30 in the afternoon, which is abnormal for a Sunday afternoon game, but of course it was finished in plenty of time. And I say that it was finished in a short amount of time. It was a quick baseball game because of the way we played defense and the way Brandon pitched.
And I'm glad that those seniors had one final game.
That was important for us. When we woke up that morning, I got with our coaches and said, guys, we need to do whatever we can do to make sure these guys play this game at this park. And I made that call. Made sure we were at 10:30 in the morning. We were a little nervous about it, but we got it done, and I was really happy that they were able to get out there one last time. The field looked amazing as well, so I was proud for our seniors.
Well, Coach, here we go for the 3rd season in a row. We're going down to the final couple games here.
What else would we ask for, and we're ready for it. We're battle-tested. We've been here before. We're just going to take care of our business on Thursday night.
All right, we'll talk to you again soon.
Thank you very much.
Head coach of the Colonels, Seth Thibodeaux. We got more coming up on the Seth Thibodeaux Show, presented by State Farm Insurance, as the Red and Gray go pink for a great cause.
Does State Farm let me bundle auto, home, and life to save money?
Sure. We practically invented bundling, and it all stays with State Farm.
So my policies don't go to some bundling center that ships them off to some bundle factory? I'm dealing with you, and not some bungling, bustling bundle builders.
Who have you been working with?
Stay with the company you trust.
Bundle and save with your local State Farm agent.
At Rouse's, we love football. We love the players, we love the fans, and we love the food. So whether it's high school, college, or pros, if there's a game, we're tailgating. You can tackle your tailgate too with one stop by Rouse's. Get Rouse's ready to grill meat, chicken, and pork, or pick up Rouse's ready to serve tailgate specials. Everything is made fresh for the game, and it's all good. So get the home field advantage every time you shop. Shop local. Shop Rouse's. Now that's tailgating.
We return with you on the Seth Thibodeaux Show, presented by State Farm Insurance. Earlier, you saw the Colonels wearing their pink jerseys on Sunday. Now Pamela Johnson gives us the story behind it.
Staying true to the Colonel spirit is something that the Nicholls State University baseball program continuously strives to achieve. Through hosting charity events and participating in voluntary service activities, the team extends the impact of their efforts beyond the campus and into the supporting community. One endeavor in particular allows the team an opportunity to witness the positive effects they've had on someone firsthand. The relationship between Nicholls and Thibodeaux Regional Medical Center continues to strengthen year by year. Colonel baseball coach Seth Thibodeaux has developed a bond with the CEO of the hospital, Greg Stock, and together they developed an idea into a highly effective cancer awareness function.
Seth and I had a conversation at a fundraising event for breast cancer several years ago. He had an idea that we really endorsed and liked, where we can bring our staff and their families to a baseball game, a Nicholls State University baseball game. The players had pink jerseys. Those are auctioned off, so it's actually a fundraiser. But more than that, I think it creates awareness around a great cause, and that is how can we decrease the amount of breast cancer and, frankly, the deaths from breast cancer that occur in this region. It's a high priority for us. We treat about 5 times more breast cancer patients than anyone in the region.
Along with this event, the team makes periodic visits to the Cancer Center at Thibodeaux Regional in an effort to bring some relief to patients receiving treatments.
We appreciate that. That sort of partnership is very, very effective for a number of reasons. One reason is when these young players show up at the Cancer Center, it lifts the spirits of the people who are being treated there. And it gives those players, I think, a connection to the pain and suffering and difficulties that people have, and maybe it helps them understand.
Every time we come, it's just a refreshing experience for me and really just the whole team. It kind of just puts everything in perspective, especially today, just sitting there visiting with a elderly man that, you know, is going through the same kind of cancer that my grandfather actually died from. It was, it's just you know, I didn't get to really see my grandfather that much when he was going through it, but, you know, just to see what he went through and what that fellow was going through and how much stuff like this really means to them hits home a lot.
Nicholls is a positive team, so that keeps everybody here positive also. We found out in January that I have rare cancer, and it's attached to my main artery, and I take treatments here in Thibodeaux, and it's just a fighting battle, but you got to stay positive.
We want to express our deepest appreciation to Seth Thibodeaux and his other coaches and his players for making that commitment, spending the time, showing the interest.
They're a ball team, and they're a team, and here we're a team, and we're going to fight this to the end.
All of the volunteer service and activities the baseball program puts on for the community displays a true example of the Colonel's spirit, giving the public a sense of pride in their university. For the Seth Thibodeaux Show, I'm Pamela Johnson.
Thank you, Pamela. Next up on the Seth Thibodeaux Show, presented by State Farm Insurance, Nicholls brings home the gold on our weekly roundup. We'll be right back.
Does State Farm let me bundle auto, home, and life to save money?
Sure. We practically invented bundling, and it all stays with State Farm.
So my policies don't go to some bundling center that ships them off to some bundle factory? I'm dealing with you and not some bungling, bustling bundle builders.
Who have you been working with?
Stay with the company you trust.
Bundle and save with your local State Farm agent.
At Rouse's, we love football. We love the players, we love the fans, and you know we love the food. So whether it's high school, college, or pros, if there's a game, we're tailgating. You can tackle your tailgate too with one stop by Rouse's. Get Rouse's ready to grill meat, chicken, and pork, or pick up Rouse's ready to serve tailgate specials. Everything is made fresh for the game, and you know it's all good. So get the home field advantage every time you shop. Shop local. Shop Rouse's. Now that's tailgate.
We're back with you on the Seth Thibodeaux Show, presented by State Farm Insurance. Here's Ashley Dufresne with our weekly Nicholls Athletics recap.
Here at Nicholls State University, the track and field program went for the gold and got it, while a group of supporters made sure they'll have a chance to stay on top. Plus, one Nicholls grad who has gone on to do big things returned to campus to help make the Colonels stronger. This past weekend, the Nicholls track team competed in the Southland Conference Championships in Lake Charles, Louisiana. On Saturday, javelin thrower Jamie Springer would record a toss of 155 feet, 6 inches to claim first place.
I told myself, you know, I have a goal to set, and I've reached it. I've almost PR'd each meet, so I'm just taking that confidence and going into regionals. Not going in too overconfident, but knowing what I have to do when I go there and hopefully setting my goals and reaching them.
On Sunday, 2 more Colonels, Tessany Carruthers and Chriselle Rowe, would each earn a title as well. Carruthers put together her fastest run of the season to take the 1,500-meter gold in a school record 4 minutes 31.82 seconds, while her teammate Jackie White was right behind her in second in 4 minutes 32.92 seconds. Ford would win the gold in the 100-meter hurdles with a school record time of 13.85 seconds. While these few individuals stood out overall, as a team, the Colonels would finish in 8th place. The Colonels will now await possible selections for the NCAA East Preliminary Meet, which will be held next weekend in Greensboro, North Carolina. Last Thursday, Nicholls held its annual Women's Night Out fundraiser in nearby Gray, Louisiana, with all proceeds going to the women's athletic program. The night was filled with pina coladas as the event had an Hawaiian theme.
Well, this event is about helping the women's athletics department at Nicholls State University because, you know, men's athletics gets all the attention and all the things, so they started this, and I think it's been about 10 years probably. Dr. Boudreaux and them started it, and to help the athletics, the women's athletics department.
The ladies come in and we are just treated like queens. We have these wonderful men dressed up in these tuxes and they're waiting on us hand and foot from the moment we walk through the door to the moment we walk out the door. The food is absolutely wonderful, but most important, the camaraderie. It's wonderful seeing all these women year after year, and then the new faces that come in and telling the stories and just really living, you know, or trying to explain to them and get them to understand that their support just goes such a long way.
An outstanding Colonel alum returned to campus on Tuesday. Irving Bullsheck-Snyder is widely recognized in his field as an innovator in training design. He made his mark with the LSU track and field coaching staff for 12 years and spent time training Olympic athletes before starting a consulting firm.
I just think back to my years in school here and how much I enjoyed them and how much I feel Nicholls gives to me, and it's just wonderful to be able to come back and have the opportunity to share what I've learned and share my experiences with the staff here.
Scheck-Snyder put on a clinic sharing his experience and expertise in the areas of strength and power development with the coaching staffs here at Nicholls. For the Seth Thibodeaux Show, I'm Ashley Dufresne.
Thank you very much. It's time to announce our Rouse's Student Athlete of the Week, sponsored by Rouse's Supermarkets. You're either local or you're not. Rouse's Supermarkets are local, with their roots established in Thibodaux in 1923. Trust Rouse's for great food and great values. Louisiana's best can be found at your local Rouse's or at rouses.com. This week, the honor goes to the entire Nicholls women's track and field team. Ashley just told you about their exploits this weekend at the Southland Championships. They've had a remarkable year, and they're not done yet. It's off to prelims coming up next weekend. Well, we're joined now by a Nicholls Athletics Hall of Famer, former men's basketball coach Rickey Broussard. Welcome, Coach.
Mike, good to see you.
And not only a proud member of the Colonel family, but a proud member of the State Farm family as well. Tell us a little bit about what you're doing with State Farm.
Mike, I'm an agency recruiter for State Farm. And so what we do is we find candidates that that fit the profile for what we're looking for in our next generation State Farm agents. So we have a real good pool here in Louisiana. Our State Farm agents are some of the best anywhere in the country, and so very proud of our organization.
You've spent much of your life recruiting.
I have, yeah. You know, when you're coaching, you think that's the only thing you can do. So when I retired from coaching, I'm like, okay, now, you know, I'm too young to retire totally. What am I going to do? What can I do? You know, I think you think the only thing you can do is coaching, and sometimes people wonder whether or not you really can do that. But we had success here, and I was able to take some of the skills from recruiting basketball players, and it's a people's game, and it's about recruiting people, and you know, the knowledge of you know, just how just about people in general, what they're about, and digging deep, finding the right candidates. That's the most important thing.
Now, Mike Bednar is here in Thibodaux as my State Farm agent.
What
do you think separates State Farm from those other companies out there?
Well, we're a 90-year American institution. We were born in the Midwest, the cradle of the United States. If you can picture this, a farmer in Illinois is driving around one day and says, why should I pay the same amount of insurance that drivers in Chicago are driving bumper to bumper? He was in the cornfields of Illinois. And he starts State Farm Auto. And then he spread that, and by 1942, that was in 1922, in 20 years, we became the #1 auto producer in America. And then some 30 years later, we start the homeowner business. We become #1 in that. So, you know, and then in 1999, I said, look, we've perfected auto and home. Now, what about a bank? So now we have a very fast growing bank. We're in the top 1% of all banks in America. So, Mike, it's phenomenal growth, but we can meet the needs of our customers from head to toe. There's not a financial need that a person can have that we can't help them with. And again, we're out to, we're a needs-based selling organization, so we sell according to people's needs. We're not just pushing products. We're uncovering the need and then selling to the need.
That's why we're so proud to partner with State Farm. You've been our title sponsor for the last couple of years now. Now back to the business at hand, Nicholls Athletics. You're still very much a part of this family. We see all the time, especially during basketball season. What's kept you connected to this community?
Well, Mike, when I first joined State Farm, I was living in Baton Rouge, and I removed myself away from athletics almost entirely because I wanted to learn this business. When you coach, you want to be number one, and I was with a number one organization, but I wanted to really give back and learn the business, so I removed myself. But then, as I became a little bit better, we moved back to Thibodeaux, and Nicholls State is probably more a part of me than where I went to where I graduated from college and played baseball for 4 years. Nicholls State is more my school, so to speak. And now it's time for me to give back. It's time for me to get involved, and time for me to support, especially the basketball program. But I support all of the sports here at Nicholls State. I go to a baseball game, and I stay busy with State Farm, so it doesn't allow me to go to as much as I would like to. But this is a fantastic university. The athletic program here is great. Let me say one more thing about State Farm. Grant Gravois, he was back then called a manager. He was an executive with State Farm. I went to Jude Guidry, who, by the way, is my agent here in town, and I asked Jude for $500 for a sponsorship in the gym. He denied me that day. But the next day, I get a phone call from Grant Gravois. He said, "Hey, can you come in and talk?" Long story short, we put together. I went in asking for $500. I leave that office the next day with a $40,000 package. It was the largest single donation at that time that was given to the athletic department at Nicholls State. So and we continue to support every year. So we have a long history of involvement, State Farm does, with Nicholls State University, and we're proud of that partnership. And now to answer your question, which was what?
I don't even remember at this point, but we only have a few seconds left.
We do? Okay.
Yeah, that's all right. Coach, thank you so much. And you talk about State Farm's influence here on Nicholls Athletics. I hope it continues well into the future. We're proud to have you guys aboard.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Mike.
The head coach of the Colonels, Rickey Broussard, still called the head coach of the Colonels by a lot of folks around here, took this program to 2 NCAA tournament appearances. Folks, we'll talk baseball with you again next week on the Seth Thibodeaux Show, presented by State Farm Insurance. Until then, have a great weekend. Take care.
Today's show has been presented by State Farm. Contact your local State Farm agent today and get to a better state. This show has also been sponsored by Rouse's Supermarkets. Rouse's, you're either local or you're not. This has been a presentation of the Colonel Sports Network.